All right, I want to start this video out with a quote from John Stuart Mill. Landlords grow rich in their sleep without working, risking, or economizing. Hence the key word working or risking. Most people want to get rich without working or risking a thing. I want to give you another one from Ivana Trump. You know, I made a tremendous amount of money in real estate. I'll take real estate rather than go to Wall Street and earn the 2.8%. Forget about it. So this video is all about how to make money investing in real estate. I've got several points to share with you, and stick around for some stories exactly of how I started my real estate business, how exactly I'm making money in real estate, and then I've also got some free gifts for you. All right, so we can talk about people becoming millionaires and earning this high percent return on investment, but we got to actually make money while we're investing in real estate. This is why real estate is the best investment ever. It's not like cryptocurrency where you put your money in and park it or possibly can lose it on something that's completely intangible that we don't understand, or even the stock market. That stuff's completely intangible as well. What if the company goes bankrupt? Like, how do we insure it? Are we able to use other people's money to buy it? Real estate is one of the absolute best places to park your money, invest your money, earn money, you name it. You might be the guy starting out with a lot of time and no money, or the guy starting out with a lot of money and no time, or the guy that's really in trouble, starting out with no money and no time. That was me starting out my real estate business in 2007. I had just gotten my real estate license, and I thought to become a real estate investor, to make money in real estate, I had to be a realtor. Well, it worked out okay because I saw the first deal that came across my plate. I ended up borrowing the earnest money deposit from great grandma and purchased the first property that came across my desk. It was actually a listing in the office from another realtor. Another one of my coworkers listed the property, and I bought it, and I got a buyer's commission for it. So I was able to pay great grandma back the $1,000 earnest money deposit because I made like a $3,900 commission. So I literally got paid to buy my first rental property. And then ultimately I rented that property out. I learned the tricks of the trade. You know, I ended up having to do an eviction. I got the property trashed, but it was education I never ever would have been able to get without getting involved, getting started, and pulling the trigger. So I kind of started out as a buy and hold investor. Well, I took a little short break from 2007 after buying that first property to about 2013. I had joined the military. I went back to school. I was like learning about, signal and communication and computers and all this Army stuff, which was great, best education ever. Now the Army's sending me to school to be an officer. So I get this house in 2013 right next to the college. So I'm gonna rent out the rooms. And I did. I rented out to a businessman, I rented it out to another young professional, and I actually made, after the mortgage payment was paid, after the lawn service was paid, and all the electric and utilities, I made $100 a month to live in this house. And the Army was paying me my salary. They were actually giving me a basic allowance for housing, BAH, of a little over $1,200 or $1,300 a month. So I was also pocketing all that money, and I used my VA loan to buy this house. So I pretty much bought this fixer-upper with no money out of my pocket. It needed paint and appliances, so I borrowed the money from Home Depot to get that. So if you notice here, you're able to use other people's money for these investments, unlike stocks or buying gold or silver. Like, yes, I buy silver, I invest in silver, I invest in stocks, I invest in crypto, but my money is tied up. It's not making me money. This video is about how to make money in real estate. So I talked about the house hacking, where I was renting out to roommates. If I was really smart, I would have slept on the couch and rented out my master suite with the bathroom, had the ensuite bathroom and all that. I could have made an additional $650 a month, but I didn't want to live on the couch. No one does. So let's keep moving forward. So I took that house from 2013. It had built enough equity because I bought it at a low time in the market from the bank, and I accumulated over $65,000 equity in a very short amount of time. So I bought a third rental property right down the street. So I pulled out the cash from that second rental property and bought third property with that. This third property I only paid $55,000, and I put sweat equity and got the place renovated. It took me like 3 or 4 months. I had help. I had a local contractor helping me, and then we rented the place out, and that place started building equity tremendously. And then I pulled out a home equity line of credit. And the thing is, I'm not like trying to leverage all my properties to a T, but I got a home equity line of credit that gave me $89,000. And that gave me the ability to buy a triplex. And I just kept moving and going forward. And this triplex now, I have 3 renters in it paying me cash. So now I have the 3 rentals in Florida and the triplex in Colorado. So now I have technically 4 rentals with a total of 3, 4, 5, 6 doors of people paying me money where I'm making money every single month on real estate. Well, now I have another problem. I've now maxed out my Home Depot card. I've maxed out the Amex because all these properties needed a lot of fixing up. And they're all stable, they're all paying, but I needed to pay off a little bit of debt because I was not comfortable leaving that debt on my credit cards. Plus it was driving down my credit score. I went from like a 790 to like a 600 in those few short years. And in the military as an Army officer and having, the ability to influence soldiers, I can't say that I've got a terrible credit score. So all these things, it was really weighing on me. So I started actually getting properties under contract, houses under contract, where people were behind on their mortgages. They were in lis pendens. It's called a notice of default. And I'll tell you exactly how I found these properties, but I want to finish telling you the story first. I would get these properties under contract at a discount, and then I would sell the contract to a cash buyer and make the spread. So let's just say house is worth $150,000. I get it under contract for what they owed at $100,000, and I would sell that contract for $110,000. I would keep the difference between $100,000 and $110,000. That gave me a quick $10,000 pop. After doing 2 or 3 of these, I paid off all my credit cards. So how did I find these houses? I used a program called PropStream, and you can get your own free trial, your 7-day free trial, by going to thelandsharkslist.com, thelandsharkslist.com. The link is also below in the description. What I was doing is I was looking for the notice of defaults, the people that were in lis pendens. They're basically in pre-foreclosure. A month or 2 or 3, after a certain amount of time, the banks will kick you out. And these sellers were basically in pre-foreclosure. So I would go and door knock on the house, and then if they didn't answer, I would leave a note and they would call me, and then I was able to build some relationships, and we ended up doing some deals together. Well, I was still searching for answers, and it was time to, I'd mentioned that triplex, we moved to Colorado, and it was time to start thinking more of a passive business, more of a business model, like investing in real estate and earning an income. Well, at this point, we had already, me and my wife, we were on our second baby. We now have a very small 2-month-old baby, and I'm thinking, man, I wish I was home more often. I've got to build this into a business. I'm gonna get out of the military. I'm gonna quit this job and turn into a full-time real estate investor, earning income through real estate. So I stumbled upon land, and I started mailing landowners literally a postcard, and then I would mail them a letter, and I would get this land under contract for a crazy discount, and I would turn around and sell it for a profit, or I would turn around and sell it and owner finance them. So let me talk about how I found those and how to make money doing that. But land has been the absolute holy grail, because in a short amount of time, almost 10 months, I was earning about $9,000 a month income. By 24 months, we were at $10,000 a month. 2 years of building the land business, we were at 24 months at $10,000 a month coming in every single month without going out and buying any more land. So this allowed me to quit my job, get out of the military. So I want to walk you through exactly how I did it. I picked the playground, and then I got a list of landowners. That first list were people behind on their taxes. We call this a tax delinquent list, and you can get this from the county treasurer's office. There's a lot of work involved in getting this list. It took me hours to get it scrubbed. If you want like an easier, faster button, I'd already mentioned the landsharkslist.com. That's PropStream. You can go on there and pull landowners in a zip code, in a county, very easily, and start mailing them a postcard today. What postcard did I use? I'm going to give you the exact postcard that I've used to buy over $10 million worth of real estate, and that's the landsharks.com/postcard. And then I'm going to tell you exactly what to say to these sellers when they call off of this postcard. But before I do, I want you to hit that subscribe button. I'm giving you all my tips and tricks and everything that I've built since 2007, and it's cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars to build this, and education. I'm a huge believer on hiring coaches, and let me be your coach today on this video. But you got to subscribe. That's my payment. All right, you found your list. You picked your playground. You mailed this list a postcard. Now they're going to start calling you like crazy. Your phone's going to explode. I want you to use the script that I'm going to give you. This script, it says exactly what you need to say to these sellers, exactly how to build relationships and rapport with these sellers and figure out what the least they can take for the land. So the script can be found at thelandsharks.com/script, or the link is also below in the description for you to download and use at your own will. Guys, these are my resources. These are my tools. Use them, use them, and use them. So this is one of the fastest ways to earning income and in the business, in the real estate business. So I want to talk to you about the first couple deals I did in land. So the first one I purchased for $285 and sold the next day to a realtor. for $5,000. You know how I found that realtor that wanted to buy that land for me? I had no clue what it was worth. So I called the real estate office as close as possible to the land, and the real estate agent was actually interested in purchasing it from me. So the second deal I actually purchased from almost a lady. She was almost 90 years old. Her husband was in the stock market and did a deal where he bought the land. They've been paying the taxes for like 20 years. They were behind on their taxes. The elderly lady said, look, my husband's been gone for about 10 years now. We've been paying these taxes forever. Give me $500, it's yours. She did not need the money. Her problem was she was tired of paying the taxes. She was no longer going to do that. So I put the land on Craigslist. I wanted to create a seller financing deal because I had no clue what the land was worth. But I wanted my $500 back because I had 2 babies in diapers, a new home, we had just moved. So I needed to sell it fast. So I put an ad on Craigslist, $500 down, $400 a month, total of $5,000. So I had a buyer, once again, the next day, brought me $500 down. I put that money in my pocket. I now had no risk in the deal, and I was earning $400 a month every single month until they paid that $5,000 off. And I thought this was too good to be true. Like, I was earning money in real estate. Rentals, I had 6 doors at this time. Actually 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 doors at this time. And I hadn't made this much money with rentals. This was like the holy grail. I'm now earning money by investing in real estate, except for that time when I had the house next to the college. And I had still had that house at that time. I actually had 3 roommates, so that house was cash flowing. But I combined all this up, and it really gave me a great passive income. And it's now turned in today to over 100 notes paying us on land, as well as over 289 land deals. Guys, if you're interested in checking something this out, building a business that serves you and your families and others, I've got a tried and true method of how to buy land at crazy discounts and sell it for profits. If you're interested in that, check out thelandsharks.com. Schedule a call with my team. We'd love to see what your investing goals are. And if we feel like we're a good fit, I'd be honored to coach you.